Alright everyone, I want you to welcome to the I3 Detroit tour. We're going to be doing a quick tour around Maker Faire, so if you'd like to join us, welcome to it. We're going to pop on our patented tour vehicle right here, and we're going to start our fair, start our tour right away. So let's hop right on. We are clear to go. Alright, so again, I want to thank you for coming to the Maker Faire. We have some very gracious sponsors this year, and I want you to thank Autodesk as well as Ford. So here we are. If you want to look off to my right, your left, you will actually see Tech Shop. Tech Shop is going to be a brand new location coming in Allen Park, so we're very gracious to have them, and they'll have a lot of cool tools there, including a water jet, so please go check them out. Alright, looks like we are going to be backing up right now. Here you see a gentleman who made the Snow Mobot. The Snow Mobot is made by Charles Copeland. He's a very well-known lawnmower engineer. Came from Iceland originally, but they don't have a lot of grass there, as you can imagine, so he built this when he got to Michigan. So again, moving over to Tech Shop, you see them off to my left. Over here we're going to come to Maker Faire Detroit. Maker Faire Detroit is the first hackerspace in Detroit who does a lot of great work with bicycles, and they have a giant pink bear. They have this launching cannon right here, a lot of cool electronics, and they're a very great piece of the community. Over here we have what looks like a bike gang, lots of speakers hooked up to the bike. Looks like there might be a barbecue, Hello Kitty, tigers. We have energy generation over here, the straight to power. You can see here is the Maker tent. The Maker tent has a lot of sponsors, such as Instructables and CAD and all that. Over here's the Cyber Optics Tile Lab. They're also one of the founding members of Maker Faire Detroit. Give a little wave to them. You can see over here we have what looks like some First Robotics underwater challengers, so there's some good stuff there. Here's ShopBot, 100K garages. And actually you can hear the Make stage over one of the stages. I think it's the Metro Time stage. And why don't we give a wave over to our second place Power Wheel Trophy winner, Ted. Ted, congratulations on your fantastic win. You did a very good job. Alright, so we see the Make Lab over here, and here comes Ted. Why don't we give Ted a little wave? He did a fantastic job manning the tent, so very good job on your point. And is there anything you'd like to say to the audience? Alright, Ted obviously hasn't very much sleep. He's swearing to a family event. So let's keep driving around. Here we see the misting tent. This is where you can come cool off and enjoy the nice hot weather. We have a large wooden ball over here, as well as people waiting in line for some sort of event. There's a wristband station, potentially to ride this very scary motorcycle right here. That might be a terrible idea, but if we look over here, we have Circus Among Us. Circus Among Us makes some fantastic bicycle and motorcycle creations. Off to your right, Nicole, you'll actually see this large custom bike material. You can see this ratcheting unicycle over here. Moving a little bit further, we're now in the early engine club. These are some of the original makers from back in the 18 and 1700s. Here we see how they used to make hay bales, which is a very old school contraption. There's a giant steam whistle on top that scares the bejesus out of anyone who is standing near it. Here's some porta potties over here. We noticed the one. Porta potties! Woohoo, porta potties! And here we have Ted following us right now. I think Ted's still a little bitter that he lost this race. He's lost his voice, so luckily he can't taunt us. So we can probably make fun of him pretty much outright, and there's not much he can do about it. Alright, actually if you look over to my right, you can see a man with a 3D camera. He actually has two cameras next to each other to give a nice 3D appearance. He's taking some photos of the wheat thrasher over there. Here's a giant 8-person bicycle, the Octobike, if you will. We see a Circus Among Us swing set over there, and very confused look from the circus tent people. But yeah, we're kind of going to take a little break as we return back through the fair that we've already been through. Here's a nice art car right here with lots of random plastic shit glued onto it. We're passing the Make Lab tent and the Robotics Redefined, where they're actually taking things apart and putting them back together in strange, cool words. The Thinker Links, I think that's a pretty cool event over there with wood toys probably cut out of a ShopBot and made into unique contraptions. Again, Cyber Optics Tile Lab, woo woo, downtown Detroit. The Straight Power, again, some sort of wind fan turbine thingy. I have no idea what it does, but it's probably really cool. Maker Faire Detroit, again, with all sorts of copters and fans and launchers and bicycles, giant pink teddy bears and whatnot. Can you turn it up a little? Oh, I'm pointing towards you though. Okay. All right, now we're going down a new path right here. Looks like we're going to be passing the life-size mousetrap off to your right, my left. This is actually from the West Coast and is a very nice piece of technology that's been at 2 fairs. Oh, here's Rocco. Rocco is the organizer of the I3 Detroit party. That does amazingly well. Rocco, we'd like to talk to you for a second. Hi. Very good interview. So off to the left you see the soda and kettle corn display. This is not actually a maker project, it's actually... here you see off to your left you see the dragon. The dragon, which is known as the Kirin Gorin, something like that, is actually very cool. It houses about 20 people on it, breathes fire, it has neon, it's very cool. You see behind us is the Maker Shed, lots of projects available in there for things to buy. Over here's another tent that has a lot of ice cream and handmade products. You can see that Treat Dreams is here. You can also see Ameripix is here. The Greenfield Village Herb Association, which is kind of cool. I'm sure they grow a lot of cool herbs. Over here is DIY Do It. Survival gear, fantastic. DIY survival gear. You cannot have enough survival gear, especially in these very challenging times. Here are some large vehicles that probably were made for Burning Man, and we were thankful enough to get them also for Maker Faire, so we appreciate that. The Boxer and Big Dog. Still Ted is following us again. I think he's kind of lost. He's dazed and confused. He's been working till probably 4 a.m. every night. Has no idea where he is right now. He has a tire that's probably going to fall off at any second now. So we appreciate his dedication to the event. He can't hear crap we're saying. So we're just going to keep going on and on. Off to your left is marshmallow shooters. These are handmade marshmallow shooters that you can build from parts you can find at the home improvement stores such as Home Depot. Here we see arts and scraps with some fantastic musical instruments, recycling for learning and fun, so good for them. Here's their tent over here. We see some food tickets. You can buy 5 tickets for $10. That is a deal, people. You can get a bottle of water which you can normally buy for 25 cents for $2 here. So please come check it out. Come check it out right now. Over here we have Ann Arbor Hands-On Museum, which is a fantastic space. We have a lot of events over there that are really cool. You can see some really cool steampunky type contraptions over here. Looks like an old school kind of telegraph ticker tape thing, which is fantastic. The Geeky App, the world's largest keyboard. You can start typing right away. Yeah, so people are waiting in long lines to use that. Again, more hands-on museum over here. This is a, what looks like a cool recycling center with a basketball hoop. So that's fantastic. Way to go, Detroit Science Center. We appreciate you being creative with your recycling. Interesting how they define bad plastic and good plastic. Not all plastics are 100% recyclable, as you might think. Some are harder to recycle than others. So here you can see the entranceway, lots of computers. People seem kind of bored, probably because Maker Faire is kind of wearing down. You know, they probably want to go home, they're exhausted. They're at least under a tent, where we're driving around this crazy contraption. Now here, Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley is a very cool 3D movie that's coming out. You can see the chaser that we have right here. This thing came from, I believe, Canada initially, and it broke down a number of times according to Henry Ford. It actually took them a long time to get here. This is neat. This is the turn the wheel, make electricity display. This actually came to I3, I believe, a while ago. This actually generates electricity in like an old school kind of Egyptian spinner thing where you get a bunch of slaves to generate electricity. I think it's a fantastic use of power. Over here we have the wristband station. You probably need that to use the spinner, just in case if you fall and the people behind you run over you, you don't want to get injured and sue Henry Ford. Over here we have Detroit Manufacturing. They're selling a lot of cool t-shirts and things. What else do we got right here? This is the Appropriate Technology Collaborative. I've never heard of them. They look like they're doing cool things. They have a very cool wind turbine here. It has a neat steampunk design. Very fascinating. Good stuff. Off to here is Dolly Cycles, I believe that is, all-terrain recumbent trikes. So that's some neat things there. Looks like you can come and check those out and drive them around. Here's some Maker staff right here. Looks like they didn't notice us, so we will continue not to be shut down. Driving further, we're now coming back to food, again with the kettle corn and Pepsi. Cannot get enough kettle corn and Pepsi. Both have probably 20 grams of sugar each. Gonna rot your teeth if you eat too much of it. I would recommend diet Pepsi if you're gonna have kettle corn as well. It's probably gonna be better on your diabetes. So let's stick with that. Moving again back to the dragon. Let's see if we can get the actual name of the contraption. This is some sort of Chinese character, so that's not gonna help us.
Go around to the other side.
So let's keep driving. Maybe we can find out exactly what this thing is called. All right. big and scary. Breathes fire. Has probably $7,000 in sheet metal on it, including rubber tires. Oh, I hear the Nanya cat. Alright, we're gonna break it down. Here it comes. Key change. Alright, still have no idea what this thing is called. Just yell at them through it. What are these called?
Power wheels.
Alright, here we go to Buddy's Pizza. Buddy's Pizza is what I had for lunch today, so I'd like to thank them for their delicious pizza. It was not a hot dog that had been boiling for probably 3 days. It was some very good pizza, so I appreciate that. Oh, there's some small child with a balloon making a lot of noise. Good for him. Welcome to Maker Faire. Alright, and we are now going over a speed bump. And there's a collision. Alright, all is good. Oh, wow, we might have lost Ted. Nope, he's still moving. Ted is fantastic in the pit. He can make anything move, even with a tire that is about to fall off. Oh, that is scary. That is very scary, Ted. All right, well, continuing to drive on, we have the Geek 100% Alive, Born of Women, Damned as Beast. Not entirely sure what that is. First aid station, always very popular, especially when you hurt yourself. I would not recommend going there if you don't hurt yourself. Probably going to be wasting their time. Here we have some refrigeration trucks providing all the cool beverages that you will be drinking throughout Maker Faire. Here we see the checkpoint, so you can't go back and steal any of the fine memorabilia that is located in there. Coke and Mentos is over here, rocket cars. Off to the left, you're going to see Verizon. Thank you very much for sponsoring us. We do appreciate your support. You make Maker Faire possible. That would have been great. Let's talk to them earlier next time because they definitely did not help us out in that regard, and you might be our savior. Off here, we see Leo. Leo is the truck from Detroit GT. He has a fantastic array of shirts and other gear available representing from Detroit, so thank you to Leo, and thank you to all the things there. There's actually a miniature version of Leo built specifically for Detroit Urban Craft Fair called Little Leo. Now, off to your left, you see a moving couch here that is under some sort of electric power. Doubt it's gas because I don't see an exhaust on there. So that is a very good use of electrical skills. Here you see Washtenaw Community College, where you can learn to make very souped up vehicles in what looks like a Ford Taurus. You can make this thing probably have 700, 800 horsepower for the cost of, 2 or 3 small children. Here you have Theater Bazaar. Theater Bazaar is a fantastic inclusion from downtown Detroit. Thank you for bringing your whole setup. We do appreciate all your support. Off to your left, you see Schools of the Future, the School Factory, Level 1, Make Lab 1, all hands active. They brought out a ton of gear. They actually brought out a laser etcher, they brought out a full DJ station, and Hack Pittsburgh brought a yurt. How many people bring yurts to events? I mean, yurt is a old technology that you really don't see very much often, and it's great to see them bringing it out. You can get yourself a Utilikilt. I know a number of people from I3 Detroit bought a Utilikilt, including Bob. Bob loves his Utilikilt. We have the Steampunk Hatter. The Steampunk Hatter actually had targeted keywords on Facebook this morning that I got an advertisement to the Steampunk Hatter this morning. So good job on purchasing some relevant keywords. We appreciate using the fine skills of Facebook. Off to here we have the Super Street Fire. You can actually come here and shoot fire from your hand using some technology of hand-eye coordination and lots of propane. Motion sensors. We were trying to figure that all day. There was a My Little Pony that breathed fire. Apparently it might have caught on fire and it's not available anymore. So that is not there. We do have Tech Shop back again. It seems like we have made a complete circle. And inside Tech Shop, you'll actually see our friend Will Brick. Will Brick is the manager of Tech Shop. And we'll be doing a fine job when the Tech Shop opens in November. So congratulations to I3 member for taking that position. Well, I do appreciate you joining us for our tour. We learned a lot, you learned a lot, and I hope you did enjoy it. There will be cookies and some sort of Kool-Aid available as we conclude our trip. So please make sure to tip your tour guide. Mark does a fantastic job. He went to a number of years to tour guide school to learn how to drive this thing, so please give him a warm applause. Thank you very much, and see you next year. Alright, we're going to get off the trailer really quick to give you a tour of I3 Detroit. I3 Detroit is the original hackerspace of Metro Detroit. We have 70 members. We have 8,000, potentially 13,000 square feet very soon. And let's go ahead and go inside and see what we can see. So the very first thing you can see is the fantastic Shakespeare a Robo Theater. This is done by Cherish, and she's one of our favorite members. She actually made a number of puppets, and this year decided to sell hand puppets as make-and-takes. So not only did she make back her fee, but she actually made money. So congratulations to an I3 Detroit member actually making money at Maker Faire. Congratulations. So let's head over to Richard Roy put together this fantastic giant bubble station right here, where people are going to learn to make bubbles out of pipe cleaners, as well as this giant sticks right here. Let's see if we can get one of these kids to do a big bubble for us. You can see the technique here as you put the sticks together and then pull them up and then spread them apart to get a much bigger bubble. It's very fascinating.
What's he doing?
Oh, I think she's a little stage fright. She's thinking about it. She's actually preparing the best way to do this. There's a lot of mental preparation that goes into making a bubble. And especially with a lot of wind right here, you want to be careful. But she's getting ready. She's going. She's a good bubble. It's trying to get out. It really is. Oh, and it popped. Well, we will try again next time. All right, here we come to our Red Bull Creation section. We're very lucky to be accepted into the Red Bull Creation. Right here is our qualifying piece, the Chrono Tune. The Chrono Tune was a time travel radio that as you dial through the years, you can actually see or listen to different things that happened at the time periods. So if you go to past the current day, you actually hear about robots, and if you go to old times, you hear about the Mayflower and the Pilgrims and all sorts of presidential things. Once we were qualified for the event, we actually got to go and compete in a 72-hour competition to build a vehicle that would travel and move people without gasoline. So here is the Squiggle Trike. This is an air-powered vehicle that moves similar to a figure skater would, kind of pushing their weight out and squeezing together. And it was very unique, and the group likes it a lot. We don't have officially what place we did, but we believe we got second, so that's very cool. Let's move over to Ed Platt. Ed Platt is a physics major. These things called, it's a flake and take, where he's actually making snowflakes on the computer and then printing them out. He's also selling some of his fantastic works right here. You can see a number of these are pretty unique, and it looks like he actually might be making a sale right now, so congratulations to Ed. Here's actually something that he made for the party. This is actually a, it shows the volume of what the music that it hears. So you can see as it gets louder, you can actually see the lights crawling. So Ed, do you want to give us a few words of what you made right here?
Yeah, so these are my pen flakes. They're hand-drawn pen and paper snowflakes. I do one every day. I've been doing that for about 5 months now. And I also have a program I wrote where you can make your own and print it out right here at the Maker Faire. This is one that a little 10-year-old girl made. She spent about 30 minutes frantically clicking around and made probably one of the coolest snowflakes I've seen. Yeah, and then we've got the volume meter, which is just based on a simple volume meter kit, but I pulled out the LEDs and hooked them up to driver chips to drive these big segments I made.
Ed Platt, everyone. Let's give him a round of applause. Thank you, thank you. All right, moving right along, we have Matt Swidlick. Matt Swidlick actually put probably 4 or 5 projects in. I think he actually made some projects at Maker Faire. Here we see his 8-bit video game based on audio. I actually heard it's fairly difficult, so if you are the one to beat this game, this could be you. He has fantastic prizes. I think he's giving away a car, so you might want to hurry up and come in here and check it out. Next to that, he has his Arduino crockpot sous vide. This is actually a technique that's been used in French cooking for a long time, but is now getting popularity in the US. They actually cook in a vacuum in very controlled, low-temperature water for a very long time. And you can actually see this helicopter landing pad based on the Arduino platform as well. When you take off from the landing pad, it actually starts the clock, and when you land again, it stops the clock. So it's a great way to have helicopter races in your home, apartment, or your backyard shed. Moving along, we have probably our favorite, most influential member, Nick Britsky, and he made this thing called Monster Shoes. Monster Shoes actually, it's a backpack you wear with compressed air and chalk and water, and as you walk around with these shoes, you actually leave footprints on the ground. So you can see right here the different footprints that you leave as you're walking. It's actually very unique, and you can see it won a Make Editor's Choice, so it's obviously the best project that's at Maker Faire. So we really wish Nick Britsky congratulations on that, and hope you'll come back to the next Maker Faire. So, look off to your left right here, you can see the Sprint Chase headquarters right here. Sprint Chase was a cell phone-based scavenger hunt where you would go around Maker Faire collecting these parts. You can actually see some players right now gathering the parts. As you find those parts, you can take them to the kiosk and see what those parts can make. Those projects that are made from the parts actually are 3D and show up as an augmented reality on the screen. So it's a very cool technology. Ross Smith is a fantastic coder and made all that technology possible. So thank you to Ross, as well as thank you to Russ and Nick for building those great kiosks. So moving over to Bob and Danae, they actually made a robot based again on the Arduino platform, a very popular platform at Maker Faire. And we're actually going to have Bob talk about his creation. So let's hand this over to Bob.
Alright, so this is my robot that I built. I've always been a big fan of robotics, so I decided to actually try to build one. And I put this together for less than $100 worth of parts. Found all the resources online for how to do this. And one of the points that I really want to try to get across to everybody here at Maker Faire is how easy it is to actually get into robotics as a hobby. It's a very accessible hobby. It doesn't seem like it would be. You expect to spend a lot of money and expect to be challenged by it. And you are challenged, but not more than I think the average person can handle. That's what I'm trying to share to everybody is if you want to build a robot, do it, because it's fun, it's not that hard, not that expensive, and you're gonna learn a lot and have a really cool toy when you're done.
Thank you very much, Bob and Danae. Long round of applause for them. Moving on to Devin right here. Devin made a Mendril, I believe it is. It's part of the RepRap group, similar to a MakerBot, but this is actually kind of the grandfather of MakerBot. Let's get a couple quick words for him.
This is an open source project, and the plan is to build 3D prototype modeling that can actually manufacture most of its own parts. The Mendel is a much smaller, newer generation. It makes 60% of its own components. The rest of them easily available, common hardware type items, and then a few rare parts, circuit boards, stepper motors are a little more harder to get. But the whole idea is to have a device that's much more affordable to make. This one here, if I knew what I do now and could start from scratch, it would run about $400. Most of the machines out there are running at $1,000, $2,000, and if you were a big company buying a big machine, you'd be spending $20,000.
Well, I don't know where I got this. I think I got it.
All right, thank you very much. Let's move on to Brian right here, and we are going to see what he has been doing with his altitude simulator.
Basically, I needed a way of being able to remove the air out of silicone rubber, for making rubber molds. And I put this thing together based on some commercial ones that I've seen, but it's basically out of a piece of Schedule 40 pipe coupler, 8-inch, and a couple pieces of Lexan. I tried this gasket material I got off of eBay, and I have no idea what it's made out of, but it works for the top. I actually used the same stuff on the bottom, but the bottom wasn't quite as flat, so I ended up using just standard weather stripping to make the seal on the bottom. And it's kind of hard to actually show here at Maker Faire a vacuum because, well, it looks like air is in there now, and when you suck it out, it still looks like there's air in there. So what I've been doing is doing a demonstration with marshmallows to show how, as I suck the air out, the marshmallows expand, and the gas actually then ruptures from within the marshmallow, and then they shrink back down.
I'm not doing any printing right now because I gotta get...
Is it possible to do a quick demo for us, real quick? So here you can see he's actually taking a toothpick, and he's taking some very festive July 4th marshmallows in the shape of stars. He's going to be putting it into a cup so it's very easily to get out and doesn't splatter all over the place, not that it would. But here you can see him turning on the valve and opening up the vacuum generator. And we are on.
So the marshmallow is going to expand a bit here because it's trying to equalize the pressure from the gas that's inside the marshmallow versus the stuff that's on the outside of the marshmallow. Now it's going to stop expanding and actually start to contract a bit, and that's because the air inside the marshmallow, the air pockets are actually starting to pop, and as they pop, there's nothing there to hold the marshmallow material out, and that's why it starts to shrink up a bit. do is I'm going to let the air back in, and you'll get a chance to see how much air I pulled out of, or how many air of those air pockets popped in the marshmallows. So there we go.
Fantastic, thank you very much. All right, moving down to John.
We need to go quick, battery's almost dead.
All right, we're gonna go really quick. We're gonna look at John. John actually put together a number of sound gear, including a cigar box guitar here with some very nice Fender styling. Next to that, we have a whole bunch of different synthesizer projects. You can hear that the keyboard actually has the different tones, and then we have the backbeats provided by the joystick type buttons over here. Moving quick over to Eric. Eric has two projects he submitted this year. The dorm room RFID lock, as well as some robotics right here. This is the Arduino and Android-powered robot. You can see it actually driving around the fair. We'll splice in some footage there. I think it's out and about. So yeah, thank you very much for bringing that. The last stop we have on our trip is actually, we see a big puppet here that Cherish made that looks like Big Boo from the Mario-based games. She's going to put that on when we go take a look at some of the other projects. Here is Eric's quadcopter, returning for a second year, and strong as ever. Here you can see Big Boo over there, chomping away, but don't look at her because then she'll stop moving. So you want to make sure to stay away and then she'll keep moving around. We have some graphical POV stuff right here from Nick, as well as an MP3 player, and that about wraps it up. So, oh, I take that back.